Should I be making yet another video? In the last 2 days, if it's not obvious, I've been off for 2 days, and Rush Royale has given me a lot of content to be angry about. And they decided to release the name, because that is the only thing that you'll get from any of this information. They released the name of the new stat, and it's called Legendarity. And that sounds like a made-up thing that I would make up. Like if I was coming up with this stat, I would call it like the imaginary stat that they were giving when they were talking about crit a little while ago. When was it? Oh, like right here. When they were talking about like a new stat is coming, and I was calling it like super mega duper crit, like whatever, like the new stat would be called. And it's called Legendarity. And you can go through in the Discord. I commented a bunch. Godlike Mike attempted to comment, and it got immediately deleted. I almost thought to screenshot it because it was really powerful. And essentially his comment was from my memory, and obviously not from verbatim. But essentially he was saying that content creators, because the content creators have their own channel on the Discord, and he was saying that content creators actively told them to not put this into the game, and they didn't listen, and they're putting it into the game. And that is exactly why I stopped wanting to be a official Rush Royale YouTube content creator. Because you don't become a content creator to change things. You become a content creator to get a code to make people buy things so that you get money from that. Which is exactly what Rush Royale wants. They just want money. And as a Rush Royale content creator, the only thing that you will ever gain from it is that you will never gain influence, because the developers do whatever they want to do because it's their game, and they are not there to listen to other people. They are there to tell other people, implement this change and talk about this change. I made a whole video about how your feedback doesn't matter. And I titled it Your Feedback Matters because that was the name. That was the thing that they said in the post. Sorry. But to stay on Legendarity, essentially, what this is super mega duper crit. We don't know what the stat is actually changing or what it's actually going to do for the game, because they're not really implementing it into the game as a feature right now. What do I mean by that? So when you upgrade Lucia, and they will then apparently backdate it to other legendaries that you currently have, as well as upcoming legendary heroes and upcoming legendary event units, specifically only legendaries, obviously because it's called Legendarity. You will be gaining a new Legendarity stat. And for simplicity's sake, let's say, so the way that they explained it on Lucia is that every 4 upgrades, you will get a point of Legendarity, right? And then, like that goes to 100. It's not even divisible by 100, which is weird. But it's every 4 points, you get, every 4 upgrades, you get a single point of Legendarity, right? And then they will apparently backdate it to other legendaries, and this will become a new feature, an in-game feature, for units and heroes, or for units. We're not really sure. We don't know, and they didn't want to tell us because it's not even going to be implemented within this patch. So even if you had a level 100 Lucia, you will not see any ounce of this feature in this patch, and they will add the feature in a future patch when they also backdate all of your upgraded legendaries with Legendaria points, or Legendarity points. So all of your current legendaries will also gain Legendarity points in some fashion. And how is this supposed to help crit? We don't know that either. We don't know anything. Because this entire post, and you can go through it, this entire post, they were just dancing around the fact that none of this, that they can't actually talk about it. They can tell you that that is how it's going to be implemented, that it's going to be based on upgrading your units. So normally when you upgrade a hero, you would get crit stat. But with Lucia, you are instead gaining a legendarity stat instead of a crit stat. I don't know if they're going to remove all of the crit stat that you've obtained with all of your other heroes in favor of a legendarity stat, or if they're just going to add it and backdate it to all of the heroes, legendary units that you've upgraded. But this is all to say that if you have legendary heroes, if you have a maxed out Zeus, and if you have a maxed out Fortuna, and you have a maxed out Necromancer, you are going to be gaining that many more legendarity stats than everybody else, and it's going to skew the balance even further. Now, there's a big part of me that is pretty sure that the entire reason for even doing this in the game, the entire reason for implementing this specifically when they're going to release a new legendary hero, is to entice people that already have everything to get Lucia. There's no other reason to implement this. In the same way that there was no reason to implement reincarnations. There's nothing to say that units need to do more things. Like, let's say you have a fully reincarnated unit, right? And let's say they come out with super duper mega quadruple reincarnation, right? Super duper mega reincarnation. Ultra mega reincarnation, right? They come up with ultra mega reincarnation for your bard, and you can do 3 more layers of reincarnation, and but it's called something else. It's ultra mega duper what is ultra mega duper upgrade. That's what it's called. It's called ultra mega duper upgrade, which isn't even a ridiculous name because this is called legendarity. Ultra mega duper upgrade. You now have 3 more levels of ultra mega duper upgrade for your bard. Do we need that? No. In the same way that we didn't need reincarnations. The reason why they added reincarnation was for people to need to farm more. And I'm not talking about regular free-to-play, kind of pay people. I'm talking about maxed out account people. If you are a maxed out account, like let's say pre-reincarnations on any unit, you are a maxed out account. And all of a sudden, you're still obtaining everything. You're still obtaining legendary units because you're buying the pass, you're completing the season rewards, you're still playing event, you're still doing mirror match, right? You're still obtaining everything, but now you have nothing to do with it, right? Now you're just gaining an excessive amount of copies of everything. You're obtaining, I think Afren Gaming had 50,000 dust at some point because he wasn't using it because he didn't need it, right? And now they're like, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll add some new talents and call them reincarnations, and you now need more copies and more orbs in order to upgrade all of your cards 3 more levels. And now all those people with so many legendary resources, all of those maxed out account people, now they need to buy more, and they need to buy celestial shards in order for them to even upgrade this. So it's still not even free to play for them because now they need to buy celestial shards because we're not going to do it at any good rate in the game. So So now people, even people with maxed out accounts, now they have something to spend money on, because now we're going to do 3 more layers of reincarnations and celestial shards, and we can get money from them and eventual money from people that are free to play. Now, when they introduce Lucia, your question should be, well, it has to be better than a Zeus and a Fortuna, because if it's not, people with a maxed out Zeus and a Fortuna don't care. And the answer is, I think it is better than a Zeus and a Fortuna. And I think that not only that, but now that they've added quote unquote legendarity to Lucia specifically, now people with a maxed out account, even if you have your maxed out legendary heroes, now you specifically need this, because now it adds that many more points of legendarity to your account to eventually use for something else. And so even if you have like very good, a very good Zeus and a very good Fortuna and a very good Necromancer, you're still like, oh, you know what? I still need this because of those extra legendarity points, and you're mid-maxing. And it's not specifically for free-to-play players. This update is obviously very not up. It's not for free-to-play players. It's not for people who are not willing to spend thousands of dollars into this game. That's not who this update is for. This update is for people that have already maxed out accounts in order to get a more maxed account. In the same way, if they decided to jump all of your unit levels to 100, it actually shocks me that they aren't at level 100, that they haven't slowly power crept regular levels. That they didn't say, like, oh, this new update, we're adding 5 more levels to the level 15. So now you can still get a level 15 and do reincarnations, but now if you want bonus damage stats, you can now go from 15 to 20. Oh, this update, now it's going from 20 to 25. Oh, for this new update, it's now going from 25 to 30. Oh, this new update is now going from 30 to 35. That's what another game did to me. And it was the reason why I left the game. It was a ridiculous amount of I will never max out everything, even when I have finally maxed out something. And that's how this game feels. And that's the only way they can prevent people with a maxed out account from not spending money either. Because they need to give those people a reason to spend money. Because if those people spend money, then people that are lesser have to spend money. If a person with a maxed out account with everything still needs to spend money, I'll say that again. If a person with a maxed out account still needs to spend money for a new feature, that means everybody else in the game will have to spend money as well. And if your feature isn't doing that, then you're not making money. And they've proven with the last bunch of patches or with the last bunch of updates that that's all they care about. And whether or not you decide to spend thousands of dollars or nothing, they don't really care. As long as people at the top are feeling forced to spend money. Because there will always be somebody who is going to day one max out a Lucia. In the same way that there is somebody who is going to minute one max out a event unit. There will always be somebody that does that. There will always be a lot of people that do that. And that amount of money from that person will fund the game, even if a bunch of people, quote unquote, leave or never want to spend money on this or, boycott the game or, tell all their clanmates to leave this pay to win game. They don't care. That's not what the update is not for you. This update is not specifically for you. They already know about you. They already know that no matter what they do with the game, like you're not going to spend money. The update is for people who already have max accounts and who will very willingly spend money to get a max account. because that's all this is.